All mass burial claims that were made by the accused, number one, Chinnaya, were actually fabricated. A special investigation team has told the Beltangadi court in Karnataka that the allegations of mass burials in Dharmasthala were founded on false information and deliberate misrepresentation by 6 individuals. The findings were submitted in a preliminary report filed before the court, which states that the Dharmasthala authorities have been given a clean chit at this stage of the investigation. According to the SIT, the 6 accused are Chinnaya, Mahesh Shetty, Timarodi, Girish Mattanavanar, Vittal Gowda, T. Jayant and Sujata Bhatt. The report details the role and involvement of each individual in what the SIT describes as a coordinated effort to construct false allegations. Now, in its findings, the SIT said accused number 1, Chinnaya, was promised money to give false statements regarding the burial of unidentified bodies, including alleged sexual assault victims, and that a video of his statement was recorded. Investigators said he also produced a human skull claiming it was recovered from a burial site, but this was found to be untrue. He has been arrested. Accused number 2, Mahesh Shetty Timarodi, is alleged to have hosted the meetings where the planning took place. The SIT has accused him of encouraging false complaints against Dharmasthala and of helping create a narrative involving a missing girl to support the allegations. The preliminary report describes him as playing a central role in coordinating the group's activities. The SIT has stated that accused number 3, Girish Mattanavanar, procured a skull from Bangalgude through Vittal Gowda and kept it in a security guard's room in Bengaluru. He later handed it over to Jayant to be taken to Delhi. And according to the report, the accused attempted to submit the skull as evidence before the Supreme Court and later brought it back to Timarodi's residence. He is also accused of providing money to Chinnaya for making false statements. Accused numbers 4 and 5, Vittal Gowda and T. Jayant, are alleged to have facilitated the movement of the skull and participated in the meetings. The SIT states that Gowda took the skull to the meeting at Timarodi's house, while Jayant transported it to Delhi by train and took part in planning the allegations. Accused number 6, Sujata Bhatt, filed a complaint claiming her daughter was missing. The SIT states that the complaint was filed on the suggestion of Timarodi and others and that she contributed to constructing the allegations against Dharmasthala. The SIT has clarified that the findings are based only on its preliminary investigation. The final report has not yet been filed and some technical evidence is still awaited. The SIT informed the court that some of the accused have not been cooperating with the investigation and sought additional time to complete the probe. Can it be limited to only these 6 people? Or is this a part of a much larger conspiracy cabal group which is trying to deliberately defame religious entities, religious areas, and especially Hindu religious institutions or areas within Karnataka? Ashok Gowda, spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP, with us. We should have Sanket Yenagi also joining us any moment now. My namaste. Ashok Gowda ji, when the first reports came out, a lot of people jumped to conclusion and a lot of people jumped to defame Dharmasthala and also the temple. Your first reaction when the SIT files this preliminary report?
So we have been saying this almost from the first day, but we did not want to openly say it. But we have been saying that inside our party circles and everywhere, that this is a gang, which the same gang which nullified Ayyappa Swami Temple, Shabarimala Ayyappa Swami Temple, Shani Singeshwara Temple in Maharashtra, and as well as several other temples, including Tirupati Balaji was not spared. So same gang is operating, whom we call it as the gang which operates from the left side of the corners. So the same gang, whether it is a Balan who was a lawyer, whether it is a senior lawyer in the Supreme Court, and all other people were ganged up and in fact, the point is, one ex-IAS officer who was serving in Karnataka, who is currently an MP from Tamil Nadu, he is the person who was spearheaded and he was also funded by some international group. That is the claim what we are all saying, that this gang wanted to not just nullify the temple, but they had a very big eye, because we saw in the Kannada, whether it is Kannada debates or in the English debates, very clearly this gang came up and said that we want a 2 lakh crore turnover in the Dharmasthala temple. In fact, on all the national channels or in the vernacular channels, one lawyer who was also associated with the Congress party used to come and speak very openly about this money which is involved with the temple trust. So the point was very clear. They were targeting not just the Hindutva or Sanatana Dharma, but their eye was on the entire trust itself. So this was a gang. They went up to 1978 thing and Endowment Board Acts and several others. It was spoken on a vernacular media. In fact, I was part of that vernacular media also. So in all these things, it is a very clear-cut gang which wanted to nullify the Sanatana Dharma and were targeting the temple trust.
Well,
BJP also did a movement against these people, and we went to Dharmasthala. Almost around Karyakartas, 25,000 Karyakartas went to Dharmasthala, and we clearly stood very firm with the Dharmasthala and said that whenever you nullify the Sanatana Dharma, the Sanatana Dharma will emerge much more.
Gaudaji,
and this was a stand.
How many days later? How many days after this incident happened did the BJP actually wake up? The first 10 to 12 days, the BJP was not even willing to come out and openly comment on it. It is only after the SIT was formed by the state government that the BJP also woke up, and the first aspects came. The BJP started speaking up. The first time the claims of a mass burial were negated because of the digging that was ordered by the court using bulldozers. There was
I'll tell you the incidents what happened. In fact, this same issue has been spoken by few people in the media from past 2 to 3 years. And they were clearly saying that there were several deaths which has happened. And these deaths, whether it was a death by suicide, whether it was a death by by whatever the crime or whatever it was. See, Dharmasthala is a place where all Hindus believe. Same thing with the Kashi, same thing with Ujjain, same thing with Gadagapur or Mantralaya or any other place. Same thing with the Dharmasthala also. A lot of people go and hang themselves, and those unclaimed bodies will be there and they will be buried in the Dharmasthala itself. And when the Dharmasthala did not have any of the burial grounds, a lot of bodies were buried, and in fact they had a postmortem and merger was also done. So these deaths, what did the gang, left-cornered gang were claiming is, they were the women who were aged between 18 years to 35 years or 40 years, and these women have been buried there. That was a claim. And of course, a lot of people could have committed suicide or whatever it was, because it happened to a very Pavitra Sthala for Hindus. So when this was a case, and we also internally said that SIT should be formed, and very clearly this SIT should investigate the matter, not just the matter what the left-cornered gang is saying, but all the matters, including from 1978, whether it was 2-3 people who were missing. That was a claim what we said. And don't relate it to only Saujanya's murder death case, because Saujanya's death case is only one thing. And when this gang itself asked for whatever we were asking for, it was very clear and evident that it was a matter of time that the truth will come out, and truth has prevailed. And this gang, from now onwards, cannot say that manifest.
Who is this gang? Who is this gang? Anybody and everybody who's part of this gang should be criminally held culpable. Does it limit itself only to these 6 accused who just seem to be spawns who are orchestrating it at the behest of somebody? Sanket Yanagi is also with us. My namaskarams. Thank you for your time. Yes, Sanket ji.
You see, BJP is always sitting at the fence and making some allegations, including Mr. Lokesh Gowda, a good friend. There are 2 things which are important, which we need to bring into the notice of the audience. Number 1, BJP is always sitting at the fence. It wants to see or shift the gun depending upon the facts and circumstances. So here is a case where one person comes to the police station or to the media through an advocate, takes the assistance of an advocate, claims that in between 1995 to 2014, there were mass burials and he was also part of that. Then a formal police complaint was filed with an assistance of a lawyer. When a person approaches a lawyer, he would render his legal assistance. On 3rd of July 2025, and the discussions already started in June 2025, BJP did not wake up. 2025, July 13, a formal complaint was filed, claiming to be by one whistleblower. Then on 4th of July 2025, Dharmasthala police station has obtained the permission from the court for investigation. Court has permitted for the investigation, not the government. Please understand. Not the BJP, not the Congress. They have no role to play. Then after the complainant produced the skeletal remains on 11th of July 2025, which he claims to have exhumed himself, he has produced before the court. Based on that, the investigation proceeded. Because of the investigation of the intensity of the matter, the government felt it necessary to refer the matter for the SIT. Only the investigation agency has been changed by the government. Government had no role to play. Neither it is behind the complainant, nor it is behind the court to pass such an order for investigation. Number 2. And number 3, since there were multiple complaints of missing which were also being coming up before the notice of the court or also in the media, the government thought it necessary to facilitate proper, fair investigation so that truth should come out, because it was even discussed in the year 1984 before an assembly. On August 2025, the SIT began investigation, exhuming. Then on 23rd August 2025, the main complainant was arrested by the SIT for perjury because it's a fair investigation. Then, as forensic experts indicated that the skeletal remains he produced were of a male, contradicting his claim that he were a female victim. That is important. So then in August end, BJP started waking up from the slumber and began actively criticizing the state government. What were they doing? Did they challenge the order of the court allowing the investigation? Did they say that SIT should not be formed or investigation should not be commenced by the local police? Then they did not open their mouth for 2 reasons. Number 1, the temple is a Hindu temple. The devotees whose burials have been assumed at least to have taken place are also Hindus, because Hindu families wanted it to be investigated. So BJP thought it appropriate, in the name of getting justice to the Hindus or the Hindu devotees, it kept quiet. If it was successful in investigation, or if in the investigation it was found out that there were some burials who belongs to the Hindu devotees, then BJP should have claimed because of us, the Hindu devotees' bodies have been recovered. If it is not being found, now they say that the temple's name is being ruined by some other party. No, this is not the way. Let them not do politics at the matter of investigation, which requires justice to be prevailed, truth to be prevailed. Truth requires to be investigated, beat anyone else.
But my point is, sir, the speed or the alacrity with which everybody moved to dig out all the areas of Dharmasthala, had it been a non-Hindu area, had it been a non-Hindu story, what would have been the reaction of the state, what would have been the reaction of the people, and what would have been the reaction overall? And is it so easy for a group of 5-6 people to come out and fabricate and try and make effort at defaming? What is the state going to do to go after this lot, this cabal, which is systematically targeting only Hindu religious institutions and lands or areas which are supposed to be very, very important to those who are part of the Hindu way of life, because each belief is different. Ayyappa is a different deity, Manjunatha Swami is a different deity, every place is a different deity, and the cultures are different, but it is all part of the great offshoot or the great way of life, that is the Hindu way of life. Who are these people? Who are
Yes.
these people who can just come out and make these allegations and tarnish anybody who's close to Sanatan Dharma or Sanatan beliefs?
Unfortunately, in this case, for the BJP to digest, that those who are making allegations are also Hindus, and against the temple against whom they are making allegations is also a Hindu temple. So now BJP is in a confused state as to whom they should defend.
Now, in this case, one point, sir, I would just like to say, just because their names are Hindu does not mean that they continue to remain Hindus by belief. So let's not jump to that conclusion, because there is a lot of this crypto game that is going on, where the names continue to be on the face of it very, very Hindu in name, but by belief systems they are either non-believers in the Hindu way of life, or they have converted to another particular
Let me
faith.
answer your point.
So that is also there. And those who subscribe to a particular ideology or who claim to be rationalists, they may have very good Hindu names, but they don't follow the Hindu way of life. They subscribe to a very total different belief system and ideology. Yes.
Let me answer your point. Now, why the BJP is in a confused state is for three reasons. Number one, temple is a Hindu temple. Number one. And the burials alleged to have been taken place are of the devotees who are Hindus. Number two. And those who are making allegations are also Hindus. Or those who have been alleged to have conspired as per the charge sheet, they are also Hindus. So whose side the BJP needs to take the side, that itself is a confusion for them.
Because it is Hindus involved, you are supposed to take
because if they take the side of the temple, the victims will not support the BJP. Or the families of the victim may not support the BJP.
So you are saying that the BJP waited to see which way the dice rolled and then decided to take a convenient position moment. Perhaps matters cleared out a little bit. Ashok Gowda, please respond. Yeah, Ashok Gowda, please respond.
See, this is not about the victim or anything else. This is how the Sanatana Dharma itself has been targeted by the few people who may be Hindus or who may not be Hindus. That's a different issue. But the point is very, very simple. Now, yes, there was a Saujanya's death which happened, and then there was a verdict which happened, and we also requested, saying that BJP openly said, our party president B.Y. Vijendraji openly said that we will sponsor you. As a BJP party will sponsor you, please go to the Supreme Court. And that is the kind of the stand we take for in the case of Saujanya. But at the same time, we are not going to spare the people who are going to come forward and say that magnifying our temples and magnifying our Sanatana Dharma. This is point number 2. Point number 3, I very clearly stated, this is an MP, I will quote his name in the national channel today, Senthil Kumar, who was an IAS officer in Mangaluru and who is an MP from Tamil Nadu. We feel that V. Balan and one Supreme Court lawyer, I do not want to name him today, in the coming days definitely will name him. So this Supreme Court lawyer and this MP and in fact the Balan and all the people, in fact the KPCC, there is one spokesperson there. So all these people are ganged up and these were all the people who have been charge sheeted are only the Patradaris, only the actors. The director and producers are more. The producer probably is sitting somewhere in the European countries or somewhere, and that producer has a very close link with the
I have to wind this up right
leadership.
now. Now here's the challenge that I would like to very humbly throw to the BJP. June, this incident first came to light. August is when the BJP broke its silence. We are in December now. So far, you have not done a single press conference to openly expose this cabal that you claim right now is behind. If you have the name, if you have this one, and if you have the conviction that you are going to stand up for Sanatan Dharma and the Hindu belief system, name this cabal openly. Come out and name this cabal and take them on openly, rather than waiting in the shadows and then firing whenever it is convenient. Because then the Congress stars and the sticks on you that you are playing opportunism even on the Hindu faith. That's where
Absolutely.
Now, if that is not the case,
our Sunil Kumar ji has named it, our B.Y. Vijayendra ji has named it, and our C.T. Ravi ji has named it very clearly in the open TVs. We have named them and said that this is what it is. There is a gang behind this. And see, producers
have you
and the
have you
directors' name
moved for
we
criminal
have not
action?
spoken
Have
about.
you moved
But
for
the people who are Sutradaris and the Patradaris, we have named them and very clearly we have exposed,
have you
including the
moved
August
for
session which happened in
have you
Karnataka
moved for
Assembly. We have
criminal
spoken about
legal
it.
action? Have you moved for criminal legal action in the courts of our country and argued the case that these people should not be allowed to be in the post that they are if they are indeed the Sutradars of orchestrating all of this? So, if you believe, sir, that you stand for the Sanatan Dharma as much as you stand for any other Dharma, then please walk the talk is what I'm going to urge the Karnataka BJP to do. Because, you know, this shoot, scoot and fire is not going to work. So you have to show that conviction and take it to the logical conclusion. What does every Hindu, every believer, and of course Lord Manjunath Swami want? That anybody who's trying to defile and bring disrepute to Dharmasthala or any other place that is a place of Hindu belief, and wrongfully so and willfully so, then that person should be criminally punished and brought to justice. So do that. That's what I'm saying. The BJP has no dearth of lawyers, nor does it have a dearth of funds, nor does it have a dearth of legal acumen. So let's walk the talk is what I'm saying, and let it start with the Karnataka BJP. On that note, I'm going to thank you both. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you. The Dharmasthala issue was a hoax, viewers. On the other hand, in neighboring Tamil Nadu, the Madurai Deepam controversy with the Thiruparankuntran temple exploded into a full-blown political storm, pitting the state's ruling party, the DMK, against the judiciary. Earlier, Union Home Minister Amit Shah launched a scathing attack on the opposition in the Lok Sabha for introducing an impeachment motion against a Madras High Court judge, saying this has never happened in the history of independent Bharat. He was referring to a motion by the opposition MPs, including the DMK, for the removal of Madras High Court Judge Justice G.R. Swaminathan, who ordered the Subramanya Swamy Temple authorities to ensure that the lamp is lit at the Deepatun near the Targa. But this is temple land at the top of the hill as per tradition. Listen in.
कोई जज आजादी के इतने साल में नहीं हुआ है मान्यवर कि कोई जज एक जजमेंट दे तो जज के खिलाफ इंपीचमेंट लेकर आते हैं।
Let's go across to our guests. We'll go across to Uma Anandan, leader Tamil Nadu BJP in a bit. T.R. Ramesh, lawyer and activist with us, and Harish Ibrahim, political analyst, supports the DMK, or let's say opposes the BJP and the NDA. Let's put it that way. My namaste and Vande Mataram to everyone. Thank you very, very much. T.R. Ramesh, what's the situation here? Amit Shah says this is vote bank politics. The DMK has come out and said we moved a formal complaint in August itself, and they have said that in our impeachment motion, it's not this judgment. We have cited 13 instances where we believe that Justice Swaminathan has violated the principles of the Constitution and that he is partisan in his judgments. Your reaction? You have a different take altogether. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can only agree with Amit Shah ji 200%. I'd like to agree with him even more.
Okay.
This is complete vote bank politics and in a very cheap manner. First of all, the Muslims in Madurai, especially in Thiruparankuntram area, they have no qualms in the Deepam being lit on the Deepam Toon. Nobody has come in large numbers as expected by DMK, and did not happen. Muslims are very clear in this. This is going to be a 20-minute religious function, which is going to happen in the land belonging to the temple. They have no qualms about it. But to show that we are the court of the minorities, only we protect the minorities, the DMK thought this is an opportunity. This to establish further credentials of their protecting the minorities, and the election coming very soon in Tamil Nadu, they want to do this. There was no reason for them to disobey the court order, which is direct, which is clear, which is perfect. But if you have a problem with the judgment, you can go to the same judge. You could have gone to the same judge on that day or the next day. You could have said there's a situation where law and order problem will be there. And we could have asked for the stay of the judgment. Alternatively, you still had a day. You could have gone on an appeal. My case on the Mandala Puja in Payani, I approached the court on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And the Honorable Chief Justice and his companion judge heard my case at his residence at 3 p.m. and passed orders that the temple tradition should not be violated. If a petitioner like me, an ordinary petitioner like me, can lock the doors of the court and get judgment on a holiday, why not the government? And if they have a real compelling reason to do that, they could have gone.
Right.
The second thing is, if you are agreed with a judgment, you go on an appeal. You don't go for an impeachment motion. This is unheard of, as Amit Shah ji pointed out in the history of independent India. This is unheard of, and they know very well, the MPs who are gone and sought impeachment. They know very well, if they target a Brahmin judge, the liberals and these pockets and others are not going to open their mouth. They're just going to keep quiet. They're talking about judicial indiscipline. The worst form of judicial indiscipline was seen when Justice Bhanumati, as a single judge, tried to overturn the Supreme Court's constitutional bench judgment in the Chidambaram Temple case in 2009. She passed an order that, in violation of the judgment of the Supreme Court, and within a matter of hour, the Tamil Nadu government obeyed and took over the Chidambaram Temple by reaching out an executive officer there. The same DMK obeyed the court's order when it favors them. And when it thinks it should not obey, they are not obeying it. And to justify, they are going for this impeachment motion, which is totally ill-advised and ridiculous.
Right. Now, Harish Ibrahim, Anandan is also with us. My namaste, Anandan. Thank you very much. Now, a few things. The petitioner's lawyer, M.R. Venkatesh, was here on the right stand last evening, and there are a few things that he very clearly he clarified. One, he said that in 1996, a similar judgment was passed, where it said that the Deepatun, if it any structure which is more than 15 meters away from the Dargah, Hindus are allowed to go ahead and practice whatever their faith and tradition and implement it. The Deepatun at that time also was measured to be more than 15 meters. The Deepatun always existed even before the Dargah. That has also been documented and clarified. The other thing to our viewers and to our guests this evening, 2005, there was an NOC given by the Muslim Paksha or the Muslims there, who said that we don't have any objection to the Hindus lighting the lamp at the top of the Deepatun as long as there's this distance from the Dargah is maintained. Then Justice Swaminathan, before presenting the judgment, he first added the Muslim Paksh as the Prativadis. He brought them on and asked them their opinion. He asked the state, what is the nature of this pillar? Is it a Deepatun? And the state said, yes, it is a Deepatun, it is a Hindu structure. He went personally to the temple area and he measured it himself, and the and judged and measured the Deepatun to be more than 15 meters away from the Dargah. That's when he's come back and said, and his first order reads very clearly, viewers and to our guests, that it's not the petitioner or Hindu devotees who have to go and light the lamp. He told the HRNC officers who were there, you please go and light the lamp and continue this tradition. That's what he told them. Two of the HRNC officers who are there on behalf of the state to safeguard the Hindu institution, you do that. And despite that order, they imposed 163 BNS, and they did not implement this order, and then they moved. So, Harish Ibrahim, where do you stand on this? And then Umaji, I'll come to you. Yeah.
No, the government stand is very clear. There is no politics can be played with the religious sentiments, whether be it BJP or DMK for that matter. And number two, the DMK government is pretty much clear. Let the court hear the two cases which have been pending on the Supreme Court on the same issue, which has a pre-notions of 2014 and 2017 judgment. And even going back to 1930s, when the first demarcations of all these temples and the Dargah localities have been handled, the government is pretty much clear. Let us get the orders from the concerned courts to what should be performed on the what basis. But where the overreach happened by the Madras High Court's Madurai bench judge, Mr. GRS, then the government has to take the stand, because he doesn't have any constitutional mandate to go ahead and make sure to give a partition order. And on that aspect, this is not the first order which Mr. GRS is passing himself have categorically said on various Sanatana Dharma conclave or RSS conclave or Hindu conclaves that I act on more than beyond constitution. I act specifically on the sentiments of one particular religion. So when he has a particular judge who should be acting on the constitutional framework, when he doesn't, and he has the same kind of cases of almost dozens of cases in his own disposal, which categorically favor one particular belief, then the state government, which wanted to protect its communal harmony in its states, has all its liberty to go ahead and safeguard that.
No, but
And
no.
Number three, 1 second.
Okay,
Let me
complete.
Let me
No,
come in.
no, 1
Let
minute,
me
1 minute,
come in
Umaji.
now.
1 minute, Umaji.
Let me come in now.
Oh, Umaji, please wait. Let Harish complete. Yes.
Okay, so number three, once if it is a pure communal harmony, because it has been coexisting for almost 100 years, three temples are there, one dargah is there. Only when the people of Thiruparangundram doesn't have any issues with any the communal existence has been so harmonious. And even for that matter, Tiruvannamalai Deepam has been carried out for almost 13 lakh people have been gathered without even a 0.01% of disrespect or disharmony. Number four, only when the BJP outsiders coming and creating a favor of movement in regards to political disharmony, then the state government has its own right and liberty to act in its free will to safeguard its people from these BJP's hooliganism, which they tried in North India, which will not ever be done here in South India, that too particular in Tamil Nadu.
No. See, but I'm just saying that you can make the political statements. However, in this case, the first judgment was not even to the petitioner, allowing the petitioner to go up to the Deepatun. It was the HRNC EO who was instructed to go ahead and light this lamp. That's the first order that came. And the DMK and the EO refused to follow that order and said, I will not do it. And went back. Now, that is when day 2, the second part happened, where the petitioner along with 10 more people was then allowed to go because the HRNC official himself did not implement. Now, had that happened, then this whole ruckus would not have been there. And it is as per the High Court judgment. Justice Swaminathan, you cannot prove that he has not followed due procedure, whatever a person's beliefs. Because the DMK did, 1 minute, the DMK did not move to impeach the 4 justices who stood in protest against the NJAC which was passed by Parliament, the National Judicial Accountability Bill. They didn't stand up there. When one of the judges, his relative was a clear Politburo member of the left, at that time the DMK did not take umbrage. Where was the DMK's aspect of practicing personal ideology and personal belief and also professional thing? The DMK does not have a problem when their own party spokespersons, party leaders practice law in the courts while profusing an ideology which does not recognize certain other beliefs and endorses a stated position by E.V. Ramaswamy Nayakar, which decried the Hindu faith. At that time, the DMK does not take a position. A DMK does not take a position where a political party MP argues on behalf of those who are standing there questioning the actual reality and existence of Ram itself. So at that time, where are these standards that you were espousing right now, Mr. Harish Ibrahim? Now, Umanandan. No, wait. Umanandan. 1 minute. Umanandan. 1 minute. So I'm just saying it's quite rich when it is one-sided. Yes.
This is the problem.
I am not going into the legal aspect of it because you have already spoken with MRV and TR Ramesh has spoken on the Agama issue and the old issue. I am only going into the color that has been posted for the judge. I would like to ask the DMK spokesperson, what about Justice Ratnavel Pandian, who was a DMK member, and he then went on to become the Supreme Court judge. And what about Hari Parandaman? What about Justice Chandru and the Mangal Sutra case which came before the Hari Parandaman court? And he gave the verdict at 8:30 p.m. from 11 o'clock morning to 8:30 p.m. Did anybody jump? And Jawaharullah, a sitting MLA who was convicted in a case, and then the judge said, Ramzan is approaching, so let him be on parole outside. Did anybody jump on that? And why should a color be put only for Mr. G.R. Swaminathan when all these people, Ratnavel Pandian, Justice Chandru, then Justice Hari Parandaman, we know all about their colors, and you have half of them, and you had one judge sitting at the feet of Mr. Karunanidhi, the then Chief Minister, who was elevated to the judge. Is that not an anachronism? They have the
Madam.
audacity to talk about G.R. Swaminathan now?
Of course, we should
No,
speak because
the
he is
colours,
he is
because he's a
against the
Brahmin,
social justice.
because he's a
He is-
Brahmin, because
No,
he's a Brahmin,
no,
he's being
that is your
targeted.
mindset.
What
That is
about
your
the other two
mindset.
judges
That
who
is
gave the
your
verdict?
mindset.
What about the
That is
other
your
two
mindset.
judges who gave a verdict? You had a judge who was elevated sitting at the feet of Mr. Karunanidhi. What is that? Goes to his house. It's all right if you give a bouquet or something. Sitting at the feet of Mr. Karunanidhi and getting his blessings. Is that not a questionable thing? And what about the other two judges who gave the verdict after Mr. GRS? Why are they keeping quiet on that?
Yeah.
They favored
that's the-
Mr. They
that-
agreed with Mr.
That
GRS.
is no,
verdict.
that is
It's
the other.
laughable.
No,
Yeah.
1 minute. That is the
Why
other
are
part.
those two not?
Okay, Harish, you can respond, and then I'll go to T.R. Ramesh. The thing is, the other part is the second day when the HRNC officials went back to the division bench. The division bench upheld Justice
The Tamil
Swamin-
Nadu HRNC manual is there.
Okay, ma'am.
The Tamil Nadu
this-
HRNC manual accepts this.
Yeah.
Accepts this as a Deepam stone.
Yeah, it
The
does.
Tamil Nadu HRNC manual.
It
What
accepts-
about
No,
that?
you put it across to the apex court and argue with that.
No,
case.
but why?
There is
why?
no, there is no.
Are you
you
trying
can
to?
spin your
No, are you?
stories,
No,
Madam
no.
Uma
Are you
Anandan.
trying to
You
say?
can spin your stories.
No, it's not about spinning stories. It's there in the manual, and it is true. The other part.
Let's
which is
be-
a
let's be ta-
no,
let's be
the
taken
other
to the
fact.
apex court.
The other fact is that the division bench of the Madras High Court upheld Justice Swaminathan's judgment. It did not strike it down. And that also was not accepted by the DMK government, and they did not allow the Deepatun to be lit. So the faith of the Hindu devotees, after getting a legal okay, not just by one judge or the Madurai bench, but the division bench, that was disrespect, Haris Ibrahim. So
No.
Yeah, it was.
As I said earlier, we are the communal harmony in Tamil Nadu coexists for almost 100 years without any kind of disrespect. And only when the
Come
BJP
on,
want to
come
try
on,
to do.
stop this narrative.
No,
Stop
madam,
this
madam,
narrative.
Umaji,
I'm
Umaji,
sick and tired of
Umaji,
this
Umaji,
narrative.
Umaji,
Sick
Umaji,
and tired of
Umaji,
this nonsense.
Umaji.
So, madam,
Umaji,
madam had
please,
picked
Venda,
out so many
Venda, madam,
judges'
please,
names.
please.
What harmony
Let-
are they
madam,
talking
madam,
Umaji,
taken
let's
out
not,
so many
please,
What are they
let us
talking?
not speak over
The
each other,
Hindus
Umaji,
being-
please.
Please, give me a
Umaji,
second.
Umaji,
So-
please let him speak and then you counter him, ma'am. Please, I request you. Let's not speak over each other.
Madam had taken out so many previous judges' names. Those judges stood for the communal harmony. Those judges stood for the social justice and the social fabric of
Umaji,
this
please.
great nation.
Umaji, please. Umaji,
The
please.
judge, even who doesn't have any constitutional authority, he himself
You have not
on
answered
his particular. No, one second.
You have not
Let
answered
me
in
complete.
this case.
Sir,
In this
sir,
case,
let
there
me
was no
complete.
BJP involved.
Sir,
In this case, the court's orders were not implemented by the DMK.
The Hindu Munnani person have been back lifted by the BJP, and he is the front end
Whatever is
person
the
who
case, the
filed-
court has,
No, one second.
the court made an order, passed
No,
an
you are
order.
not allowing me
that-
to complete.
No,
You
no,
are not allowing
Harish,
me
you're
to
not
complete.
answering
Then
my
how you
question.
will-
I asked you a
Let
simple
me-
question. What was my question? It's not about how many people, how many protesters came or whatever came. I am saying the division bench upheld Justice Swaminathan's judgment and asked the temple authorities to light the lamp. The temple authorities
It has
refused.
been
Who's at fault?
littered. It has been littered on the Perumal temple.
No.
On where?
No,
no.
it's
You
not
are
the
wrong.
Perumal
You
temple.
are wrong.
You are
have been
wrong.
given a
It was
wrong
not.
statement.
It was
No,
not lit at
no.
the. There is no Perumal
Every
temple
year-
there, sir. It's a
no,
Shaivite
every-
temple.
every-
It is the
every
Uchi
year,
Pillayar temple.
Balaji,
One
yes,
minute.
Uchi
No.
Pillayar.
Uchi
Uchi
Pillayar.
Pillayar temple
Uchi
every
Pillayar.
year,
That I said.
the
Uchi
HRNC
Pillayar temple is a
go
Ganesha
and
temple.
lift
It's a
the
higher
lamp and it has
Ganesha.
been-
It's just
No.
fifth. 1 minute, sir. If it was
Sir,
lit. 1
sir,
minute.
you are-
It was
you
1
are
minute,
giving
Harish.
a wrong
Let's not. No,
information.
you are giving the wrong information. You got the
are giving
deity's
wrong
name wrong.
information.
You got the date. You got the deity's
Each
name
and
wrong.
every year,
I am not.
each and
I
every
corrected
year,
you.
the Balaji
One, no,
temple,
it was
the
no,
Balaji
no,
temple.
no. There is no Balaji temple there.
Yeah,
1 minute.
no,
It's a Murugan temple, and above that is Muruga's brother
You
Uchi
have-
Pillayar,
you
whose
have
temple,
three-
the two,
Uchi
the
Pillayar,
two, the
Uchi
two,
Pillayar, I'm
the
wrong.
two
Okay,
temples,
Uchi
the two
Pillayar.
temples, the entire mountain is supposed to be deemed as Shiva, along with the Annamalai temple. The other part, let me also tell you, sir. That temple, the Uchi Pillayar temple, is only 50 meters above the current temple. That is the Tripuran Kundram Subramania Swami temple.
That
The
is where each and every year the Deepam
one
will be
minute.
lifted
The
up.
Deepatun is at the top of the Shikhara, 500 meters above, 17.5 meters beyond the Dargah area, away from the Dargah, and that is where the Deepam was supposed to be
give the
lit by the
proof. Give
HRNC
the
operator.
proof. proof.
it was proven. It is proven in front of the petitioners. It is proven. No, why Apex Court? No, so that means that the DMK government is openly disrespecting the division bench of the Madras High Court and all the judges of the Madras High Court, and it's not just Justice Swaminathan. They have proven it. They have measured it. They have proven it. It has been shown, and that the sad part is that even before the hearing commences on Friday in the Madras High Court and then moves to the Supreme Court, the DMK moved to impeach this judge. That's the audacity of the state government that stands out, which you are refusing to speak about. Yes, Uma Anandan, and after that, T.R. Ramesh. Uma Anandan. That's what I'm saying. No, because you are not speaking facts. You are not speaking facts. This is inconvenient for you. It's inconvenient for you. I've been caught, sir. You've been caught misinforming, misrepresenting, and I'm saying, sir, if there is a judgment of the court, you have to respect. The state government does not respect. That means the state. No, you are giving false information. And 1996 judgment. Pick out the 1996 judgment. The 1996 judgment says anything which is beyond 15 meters of the dargah is permitted. It was not permitted. 2005, the Muslim Paksh said we don't have a problem. It was still not permitted. Now, 2025, two benches have said, Justice Swaminathan and the division bench, and still it's been disrespected. So, who should be held in contempt? Who should apologize, and who is actually playing brazen appeasement and intimidation politics is evident. One minute, Uma Anandan.
I would like to ask Tamil Nadu government this. Tamil Nadu government, a year ago in Coimbatore, in the heart of Chennai city, a mosque built on an encroached land, government land. The court gave a verdict that the mosque has to be demolished. Till now, it has not been done. More than a year. What is the government doing? And the next, just about 15 days, 20 days back, a church in Pallavaram again on a private property. The church has given orders. Even the Supreme Court appeal was dismissed by this Christian thing. That church still stands because the people are protesting outside. So they will respect the Christian and Muslim, but not the Hindu this thing. And he talks about harmony. What nonsense is he talking? The harmony is only for the others, not for Hindus.
The point is,
what about the court voting for that?
T.R. Ramesh, there are a lot of questions to be asked. I'm going to come back to the same simple point. Whatever Hindus are demanding, etc., is one part. The division bench also upheld Justice Swaminathan's judgment. They did not find anything wrong with that judgment. So who's at fault here then? T.R. Ramesh.
Anandji, see, whenever a judgment goes against, particularly the so-called Hindu Religious and Charitable Endowments Department, they never obey it. On 7/6/2021, the division bench of Justice Mahadevan and Justice Adikeshwaru, they gave 75 directions regarding administration of temples.
Right.
75 directions. The government side went for a review. The review judgment also came on in 2023, 1st June. Till date, none of the 75 directions have been complied with. This is regarding temple management. On 21st August 2025, I obtained an direction from the division bench of Madras High Court that the audit reports of top 50 temples should be uploaded to the website in a downloadable PDF format. Till date, that has not been done. Court has now given time till 18th December. On 9th January 2025, the division bench, the Honorable First Bench of Madras High Court, gave a detailed judgment that the temple fund should not be used for building commercial complexes. But that judgment was brazenly violated time and again. And on 19/6/2025, the same bench in my case gave a status quo order that none of the purposes which are not permitted under the HRC Act, the civil work should not go on. This is being brazenly violated, and the Minister for the HRC department, Shekhar Babu, goes and inspects these works and says, go on, carry it, finish it before the...
Right.
So that it can be shown as they have opened something before the elections.
See,
so this is the habitual offenders, HRC department, Tamil Nadu department, whenever a judgment goes against them, they never obey these judgments. Here, they wanted to hit two mangoes with one stone. One is not do a Hindu temple function. Second, project themselves as the protector of minorities when there was no need or no occasion to do that.
No, and the point is the state is supposed to protect everybody's interests. So nobody is going to...
Everybody.
See, if there is anybody who disrespects the court's judgment that a lamp is lit or people go within 15 meters of the dargah, I'll be one of the first people to sit here and say that what they have done is wrong and their court order should not be violated. The same way, if the right to pray is equal for everyone and every faith should be respected, and if the Hindu devotees and the petitioners have got a fair judgment with the court, who has gone there physically and measured and then delivered the judgment, then the state is bound. The state is bound by the constitutional oath that it takes to protect everybody's interest to implement this. What the comments that are coming from the DMK are pointing to a very, very dangerous game. They are the ones who are now wanting to sow a Hindu-Muslim divide using this. Now that is very, very sad if these utterances are coming. Now we will wait for the courts to also decide, because the courts are going to accept the facts. Yes, T.R. Ramesh. I have to wind up.
Article 25, the fundamental right to profess, practice and propagate is equally there for Hindus also.
Yes.
There is no such thing as minority right as far as religion is concerned in our constitution.
No, and minority does not mean Muslims. Muslims are the second largest majority in our country.
Second largest?
Majority.
And they are majority
They are the second largest majority in our country, and in this case, sir, this is not a Hindu. In this case, no, sir. They are doing far better than in Muslim countries themselves. You should see how the Rohingyas were treated by the OIC. You should see how the Rohingyas were treated by the OIC. How the Rohingya have been treated by the OIC. That itself is fair. How the Syrians were treated by the OIC. It is very, very good, very, very evident. Where they have had to migrate to Western Europe and not to the Islamic countries itself is evident. So very sad, very lame argument there. The point is, sir, in this case, this is not even a Hindu-Muslim issue. Sir, in this case, it is not even a Hindu. It is I have to wind up. It is not even a Hindu-Muslim issue in this case, because the Muslims didn't have an issue as long as the dargah was 15 meters distance was maintained. Let's see what the top courts have to say. Quickly moving on, as I thank our guests, the recent Indigo chaos, not just an operational failure, it was failure of planning, frontline protection, and the staff did not design rosters, they did not freeze hiring, they did not delay preparedness, yet they carried the entire public cost. Now, there has been a growing demand for public admission of responsibility, exoneration of frontline employees, transparency on whether regulatory pressure was part of the strategy. And there are many whistleblowers who are saying they knew this was coming and they did nothing about it. Mohandas Pai joins us now, Chairman RN Capital. Mohandas Pai ji, namaste. You've been very, very vocal about this entire Indigo fiasco. You've put out letters and complaints that have come on. What is your assessment? Should it stop only with the CEO, or are there others also who should be pulled up? Because all other airlines complied except for Indigo.
Anand, there are two things that we have to be careful about. One is the DGCA and other is Indigo. Obviously, there's a management failure of Indigo. I remember going to Goa from Bangalore on the 27th of November, and my flight was delayed by 1.5 hours because the pilot was not there. He had to come from some other flight. It never happened to me before, flying in Indigo for 18-20 years. It's the first time such things happen, and I think that is something that is serious. I didn't know all this was going on. Now, obviously, Indigo management has failed, and that is something that has to be discovered and thought out in the investigation. Now, the bigger question is, what are DGCA doing? Now, this is a very big change and very big transformation of the way people work and run the airline. So when you have a big transformation move, what do you do as a regulator? You issue a policy, you give them time, and then you say, give me your plan, how you are going to meet it, what are the milestones you're going to have from time to time, and review it every time to make sure on the due date they're all prepared, and get the rosters in advance about all the flights. Remember, DGCA gave them the winter schedule maybe 1.5 months ago.
Yeah.
When the winter schedule was there, did they have a review? Did Indigo tell them that we're all prepared? The rosters have been done. We can comply with that. What happened? Because this is supposed to be done from 1st November. Am I right?
Yes.
Supposed to be 1st November, and it blew up in the first week. So there's a failure of the regulators And this raises an interesting question. Is there regulatory capture? Obviously, the minister feels that he has not been kept in the loop. Has these airlines captured the regulator, DGCA? Do they run the DGCA? Is there something behind the scene that the DGCA themselves were surprised? They did not know. In the first 2-3 days, you saw the response from DGCA, you saw the response from the department. The response was totally inadequate. Only later, when the public pressure happened, you saw all these thousands of people shouting, and
the government and the ministry got involved. Yeah.
Yes, I think there are two things, and the Prime Minister said very clearly that people suffering like this because the failure of somebody is not acceptable. Now that is very, very clear. The Prime Minister is very upset and angry seeing the suffering of people. It should have happened. Did the DGCA review? Did they have a plan of action? Did they check up whether milestones are going to be done? Did they check up whether they have adequate pilots? Did they warn them they don't have adequate pilots? Was there a plan in place? Obviously, for Air India and others, there was a plan in place. Maybe Air India is fortunate because they got surplus staff there because the planes have not come, or the planes are coming, they hide in advance. Indigo is wearing a tightrope. But the most curious thing, Anand, is they just increased flights by 10%, 200 more flights in the winter schedule a month and a half ago. Didn't they know that they have to comply with this? Actually, they'd already told the DGCA that got a promise they'll get us more time or something like that. Was some kind of a deal made? So there are too many murky things. I think we need to know the truth because we can't have a regulator and the airline playing with the safety of passengers and doing this to citizens. It's unacceptable. It's a management failure.
No, and it's also flyer safety because if you're trying to overwork the crew, and these are FDTL guidelines that came into place because of the court's orders in January 2024. So you have 2 years to try and tailor this and to try and streamline this.
Anand, they have been overworking the crew for a long time. There's nothing new.
Yeah.
They've been overworking the crew for a long time, right? That's been going on. Now the key thing is they were forced to adapt to the new norms, but they took it easy.
Right.
And so we got to find out, did they have a plan? Did they actually work on it? Did they go easy? Did DGCA tell them they're going to give them more time? So they took it very easy and thought they already won the day. What exactly happened for it to blow up suddenly in a matter of 1 week? Because remember, it's supposed to happen from November. In the month of November, did they go with the new plan? Did they comply with the new plan in November? And why did it blow up in the first week of December? Then why did it blow up when President Putin was in town?
Yeah,
Why did it blow up in the second week of November, third week of November? Why blow up when President Putin was in town? Is there something dark deal happening? I don't know. I mean, these are all maybe conspiracy theories. I don't know. But I think it merits a full investigation and somebody must pay. It's a management failure. And I think the board has not possibly adhered to responsibility. We also need to know whether the board was following
what's going on?
Preparedness.
There are some very senior members and very capable members in the board.
Did they have a look at the plan?
Yeah.
Did they have a look at the plan?
Were they aware or not? That's the big question.
Were they aware? Did they look at the plan? Did management present? And these are all questions that have to be answered in investigation. It must not go away because we must do it. Another thing, Anand, the DGCA is supposed to have a vacancy of 500 people.
Right.
But can they really deal with another 50-60% increase in air travel in the next 2 or 3 years when all those new planes come?
Well,
I mean, it's very cumbersome.
So there is a lot that needs to be fixed. True. Mohandas Paiji, you've hit the nail on the head as always. Thank you very much for your time. I've got to wind up. Thank you, sir. Namaste.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Who tried to tarnish the temple town of Dharmasthala in Karnataka? The Dharmasthala truth is out with the special investigation team in its preliminary report before the Karnataka court that all mass burial claims that were made by the accused, number one, Chinnaya, were actually fabricated. A special investigation team has told the Beltangadi court in Karnataka that the allegations of mass burials in Dharmasthala were founded on false information and deliberate misrepresentation by 6 individuals. The findings were submitted in a preliminary report filed before the court, which states that the Dharmasthala authorities have been given a clean chit at this stage of the investigation. According to the SIT, the 6 accused are Chinnaya, Mahesh Shetty, Timarodi, Girish Mattanavanar, Vittal Gowda, T. Jayant, and Sujata Bhatt. The report details the role and involvement of each individual in what the SIT describes as a coordinated effort to construct false allegations. Now, in its findings, the SIT said accused number 1, Chinnaya, was promised money to give false statements regarding the burial of unidentified bodies, including alleged sexual assault victims, and that a video of his statement was recorded. Investigators said he also produced a human skull claiming it was recovered from a burial site, but this was found to be untrue. He has been arrested. Accused number 2, Mahesh Shetty Timarodi, is alleged to have hosted the meetings where the planning took place. The SIT has accused him of encouraging false complaints against Dharmasthala and of helping create a narrative involving a missing girl to support the allegations. The preliminary report describes him as playing a central role in coordinating the group's activities. The SIT has stated that accused number 3, Girish Mattanna Navar, procured a skull from Bangalgude through Vittal Gowda and kept it in a security guard's room in Bengaluru. He later handed it over to Jayant to be taken to Delhi. And according to the report, the accused attempted to submit the skull as evidence before the Supreme Court and later brought it back to Timarodi's residence. He is also accused of providing money to Chinnaya for making false statements. Accused numbers 4 and 5, Vittal Gowda and T. Jayant, are alleged to have facilitated the movement of the skull and participated in the meetings. The SIT states that Gowda took the skull to the meeting at Timarodi's house, while Jayant transported it to Delhi by train and took part in planning at the allegations. Accused number 6, Sujata Bhatt, filed a complaint claiming her daughter was missing. The SIT states that the complaint was filed on the suggestion of Timarodi and others and that she contributed to constructing the allegations against Dharmasthala. The SIT has clarified that the findings are based only on its preliminary investigation. The final report has not yet been filed and some technical evidence is still awaited. The SIT informed the court that some of the accused have not been cooperating with the investigation and sought additional time to complete the probe. Can it be limited to only these 6 people? Or is this a part of a much larger conspiracy cabal group which is trying to deliberately defame religious entities, religious areas, and especially Hindu religious institutions or areas within Karnataka? Ashok Gowda, spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP, with us. We should have Sanket Yanagi also joining us any moment now. My namaste. Ashok Gowda ji, when the first reports came out, a lot of people jumped to conclusion and a lot of people jumped to defame Dharmasthala and also the temple. Your first reaction when the SIT files this preliminary report?
So we have been saying this almost from the first day, but we did not want to openly say it. But we have been saying that inside our party circles and everywhere, that this is a gang, which the same gang which nullified Ayyappa Swami temple, Shabarimala Ayyappa Swami temple, Shani Singeshwara temple in Maharashtra, and as well as several other temples, including Tirupati Balaji was not spared. So same gang is operating, whom we call it as the gang which operates from the left side of the corners. So the same gang, whether it is a Balan who was a lawyer, whether it is a senior lawyer in the Supreme Court, and all other people were ganged up and in fact, the point is, one ex-IAS officer who was serving in Karnataka, who is currently an MP from Tamil Nadu, he is a person who was spearheaded and he was also funded by some international group. That is the claim what we are all saying, that this gang wanted to not just nullify the temple, but they had a very big eye, because we saw in the Karnataka, whether it is Kannada debates or in the English debates, very clearly this gang came up and said that we want a 2 lakh crore turnover in the Dharmasthala temple. In fact, on all the national channels or in the vernacular channels, one lawyer who was also associated with the Congress party used to come and speak very, very openly about this money which is involved with the temple trust. So the point was very, very, very clear. They were targeting not just the Hindutva or Sanatana Dharma, but their eye was on the entire trust itself. So this was a gang. They went up to 1978 thing and Endowment Board Acts and several others. It was spoken on a vernacular media. In fact, I was part of that vernacular media also. So in all these things, it is a very clear-cut gang which wanted to nullify the Sanatana Dharma and were targeting the temple trust.
Well,
BJP also did a movement against these people, and we went to Dharmasthala. Almost around Karyakartas, 25,000 Karyakartas went to Dharmasthala, and we clearly stood very firm with the Dharmasthala and said that whenever you nullify the Sanatana Dharma, the Sanatana Dharma will emerge much more.
Gowdaji,
and this was a
how many
stand
days
what
later?
we clearly said.
How many days later? Good evening. Welcome to Brass Tacks. I'm Zakir Jacob. There was a fiery face-off in the Lok Sabha between Home Minister Amit Shah and the leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi. Shah was responding on the debate on the special intensive review undertaken by the Election Commission, the SIR. He said that the original vote chori was actually done by Jawaharlal Nehru when he stole the election to be India's first Prime Minister away from Sardar Patel. Shah also accused the Congress of using the SIR as simply an excuse and unfairly targeting the Election Commission because the Congress party has stopped winning elections. Rahul Gandhi intervened in the debate and he kept asking why the Election Commission is not providing clean electoral rolls which are machine readable, why the Chief Justice of India was removed from the three-member panel that chooses election commissioners and the Chief Election Commissioner. Look, one thing is very clear at the end of these 2 days of debate on the SIR, both in the Lok Sabha and in the Rajya Sabha, can we now put this SIR bogey behind us and at least get down to the brass tacks, which is that the BJP wins elections because it's simply good at winning elections. They're simply better at winning elections. That is the bottom line. Will the opposition, the Congress, ultimately accept that? Let's listen in to what both Mr. Amit Shah and Mr. Rahul Gandhi had to say in what was a fiery face-off today in the Lok Sabha.
सबसे पहली घटना हुई आजादी के बाद देश का प्रधानमंत्री तय करना था। अब 28 वोट श्री सरदार पटेल को मिले और 2 वोट जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी को मिले। और साहब प्रधानमंत्री जवाहरलाल जी बने। मान्यवर दूसरे प्रकार की वोट चोरी और नैतिक तरीके से चुनाव जीता। ऐसी वोट चोरी भी भूतकाल में एक बार हुई थी। श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी रायबरेली से चुनी गई। इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट ने ये तय कर दिया कि श्रीमती गांधी ने उचित तरीके से चुनाव नहीं जीता है, हम इसको रद्द कर दें। एक वाद पहुंचा है, वाद मतलब डिस्प्यूट पहुंचा है दिल्ली की सिविल अदालत में। उसमें डिस्प्यूट ये है कि सोनिया गांधी जी इस देश की नागरिक बनने से पहले मतदाता बने।
So here's a attack and counter-attack. Yesterday, the leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, spoke and he posed 3 demands before the government. Today, the Union Home Minister, Amit Shah, has given a point-by-point rebuttal. Number 1, Mr. Rahul Gandhi asked why the Election Commission is not providing machine-readable voter rolls to all political parties. Amit Shah today countered that by saying that the Election Commission is a constitutional body. It does not fall under the ambit or the purview of the central government. Therefore, the Election Commission needs to respond to that. Second, Mr. Rahul Gandhi alleged that a law had been brought in 2023 which allowed the destroying of CCTV footage after 45 days after the polls have concluded. Mr. Shah countered that today by saying that the CCTV footage is preserved for 45 days. If that timeline is not enough to prove quote-unquote vote chori, then maybe the opposition should stop raising the objection of vote chori. Thirdly, Rahul Gandhi also sought expert access to the architecture of the EVM, to which Mr. Shah asked if the opposition is actually making a case for illegals, illegal immigrants, and want infiltrators to cast votes and enjoy the same rights and privileges that citizens of India do. It is also a fact that the Election Commission 3 times in the last 10 years has invited all political parties, including the opposition,